that good?
Yeah, this will be fine. It just looks really empty over here.
No, it doesn't. It's empty on the left side too.
But it's not your plant. The little plant is in the background. Okay, that looks a little better.
Hi everyone, I'm Miranda and
I'm Emma.
And welcome to Morningside Plants. Today we are going to save our aloe, which I don't know what kind of aloe this is, honestly. It looks to me to be a plain old aloe vera, but I don't know. There's so many different names for all of the different aloes right now popping up. So if you do know the name of this, please comment. Please let me be right. Please let it just be a regular aloe.
You know, I think it might be aloe vera because one of the little stalks fell off and I kind of like cut it open and put it on my skin and it did make it softer. So
maybe
kind of confirms that theory.
Do all of the different aloes do that?
I know, that's kind of risky. Maybe don't try that at home. I don't know if all of the aloes are safe to do it.
No, I know, I've heard some people. But I'm curious if all of the different aloes can do that. Okay, basically what happened is we're saving this. I think that I overwatered it. It was in a pot that didn't have a drainage hole. It was a gift from Emma's old boss.
Shout out to Greg.
It was a beautiful aloe plant. There was also some little like vines of Tradescantia stuck out of it, just coming out of it, and we did a good job of letting like the whole thing kind of dry up. Like, it was just confusing to me, them together. I feel like I didn't know how to take care of them. When we ended up trying to like move the aloe into the light and take care of it a little bit more, it just died immediately. I think I overwatered it, so. What we're gonna do is help each other out today and help this aloe. We're gonna try to save its life. And here's some pots for you. What I've already done before Emma was here was I just started taking apart the aloe. So I don't know if you guys know this. Sorry, I'm talking so much. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you have like, I've been seeing this lately on all of my succulent plants. When you have a mother plant that seems to be dying of root rot, a lot of times I will see the babies kind of start to dry off on the ends. They will fall off, I mean, and here's a really healthy baby that just like fell off. I'll show you guys the ends of these. I'm gonna come closer. Okay, so do you guys see that? Yeah. If you guys can see there, right at the end, it just kind of dried off and fell away from those roots that seem to be dying off of root rot, and we still have a pretty healthy little baby here. It's still pretty small. I think that if we pot these guys up, they might have a pretty good chance at living a pretty long life. These look a little more developed. Then I have some really tiny little boys that I'm gonna show you, which I don't know how these are gonna do, but we're just gonna throw them in some potting mix, see how that works. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Me and Emma don't always pot together, but we've had some very memorable times.
Yes.
Okay, which ones do you want? Do you want the little tiny babies, or how about you do the medium?
Sure.
They're kind of pretty. Okay.
So is this one going, is this just one?
Yeah, put that one in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how deep do we want it? Do we want it like fully?
What I think with one like this, with such a small baby, is you don't want to submerge it too much in the soil because then you might get some rotting going on with these bottom leaves. Maybe just the very tip of it. Like,
so should I put the soil in and then just like stick it in there?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
We're gonna try to pat the soil down around it to make sure that it can really be held in there so that it doesn't get kicked around every time our cats walk by. It's something to hold on to. That's what I keep saying. Okay. Potting mix. We're gonna use cactus mix. Yes, mix from Espoma and orchid mix. This is really all that I've been using lately. I think that there will be a time when we will return to some perlite. Actually, I think Emma just ordered a bunch of perlite.
I did.
For the outdoor plants, I think.
I'm starting some seeds for the garden inside in our greenhouse to give them some aeration. I'm gonna be putting perlite in the mixture, which this already has perlite in it actually, the cactus mix does.
Yes.
Ooh, show off that fancy pot you're using.
Oh yeah. For the biggest aloe, the biggest baby, this one actually broke off of the mother plant right from the middle. So this is an experiment actually, because I don't know if this plant is actually going to survive. But if it's anything like the Haworthia and some other succulents, if it has some of that like center kind of heart of the mother plant, then it can develop root systems of its own later. So I'm gonna show you guys this guy really. The reason is because we're gonna put him in this cute pot, and we're really excited about this pot because, I mean, I think we all know how many terracotta pots are in our homes, and it gets a little bit like not fun to continue looking at the terracotta. So we have these like nice, slightly different, basically terracotta clay pots, but just a little bit of a
like a taupe,
gentle,
no, not taupe maybe, but
a gentle on the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys see these up close. So here's this baby.
Our cat Mama has joined us.
Hello, Mama.
Like, maybe it's a good time to note that like aloe is not good for animals. Like any household pets, it's not good to have within their access.
We did have a time last summer when we have a different aloe, another one whose name I don't know. It was flowering, beautiful blooms, and it just, as soon as those little baby blooms popped up, our baby clover was jumping up there eating them, like literally, and he didn't want to eat any of the other plants. Honestly, we have a lot of cats and we have a lot of plants, and usually they leave them alone, but
luckily he was okay. But do not take that risk. I mean, we aren't taking that risk anymore. Hide your aloes, please do not. That was just a lapse of judgment on our part. So I'm doing like a mixture of almost like 50-50 orchid bark, cactus soil, and I'm just like mixing them in together. I'm doing like a little layer of each, eyeballing approximately that 50-50 mark.
I think that'll be good for the aloe. I use this cactus mix for most of the plants that I have because most of the plants that I have require a similar kind of care, wanting to dry out in between each watering. This is a good one for that. We don't want to put too much of the orchid bark because the roots might not always like it of all the different plants, so I'm not sure how the roots of the aloe will like the orchid barks, just enough that there's a little bit of extra aeration in the soil.
We like to experiment though. You know, we're about just trying it out. We're trying to save this guy, you know.
So, I mean, anything's better than nothing at this point, right?
Yeah.
I like to experiment with, honestly, sometimes letting my plants die. Like every time you get a new plant, I feel like you don't actually know what the care is until you get to know that plant personally. If it dries out a little bit too much, then I can see what happens. Like, is it going to just die immediately? And there's some plants that are like that. I've had bad luck with like fiddle leaf figs, ferns. If you don't water them, they're gonna die immediately.
Some are tougher
I've
than
killed
others.
a lot of ferns. That's why I don't really buy any more ferns. So now I know. The experiment has concluded.
We like plants that, you know, dry out fully before they need a rewater. So we're not doing it every day. Maybe one day we'll get back into ferns.
I think that in order to live the fern life, you have to have a good habitat for the fern.
Right, we don't really. Our ferns tend to reside in our bathroom, which doesn't get a lot of light, and they're constantly getting moved around.
In the other rooms, I just don't ever find enough humidity. I feel like I'm never really taking care of them enough, and then I get like anxious about the fern drying out, so I'll like procrastinate and then not water them longer. So that's really unfortunate for them. I'm excited. The big guy is going in. I
didn't put the soil in all the way up to the top. Should I put it up all the way up to the top?
No, that's fine. It's okay. This is really just a look. I just wanted to do a look with this one because actually, here's the plan with these. Yes, this is a rescue plant. If the rescue succeeds, then I was hoping to sell these little babies in our plant shop after we grow and feed them and water them a little bit longer. We'll see if they get any bigger and healthier. But this one is for us. It's a memory of the mama plant. Actually, I didn't run any of that by Emma. What do you think about that? Can we harvest?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit of like top dressing, fashion. Give it a little bit of an outfit up here on the top.
A little, yeah, you always do that. It does look pretty nice. Artfully placed orchid bark.
I'm gonna put this, no, actually that was deep enough. Okay.
After we get these like potted, should we water them in? Or like since these are aloe, I mean, they've been out of, you know, they've been like separated from their pot for a few days, so.
I think honestly that we should not water them.
Okay.
We should wait a couple more days because if you look at the way that their leaves are, very like full.
Yeah.
That means that they're still very full of water. They'll probably be okay not having water for a couple more days. But eventually, maybe in like a week, 5 to 6 days, we'll check on it. Honestly, I'm not gonna say a week for sure. Maybe we can let you guys know.
So, I was gonna ask, like, what are like, do you know like the telltale signs of when the aloe needs to be watered?
I'm still learning about how to be the best aloe caregiver. When I see those leaves start to thin out, that's really when they want some water.
Right.
We have another aloe that tells me much better than this one. It has kind of like a harder skin, so it's very clear to see when this very like hard plant is really sinking in on itself. This one's a little bit more confusing. I think that the thinner that they get when they start to look a little dehydrated, also when they start to feel softer, where you can almost like start to like bend them. If you feel this,
yeah, that feels good. That doesn't feel like it needs anything. But this one, you know, maybe mine is a good example of how like, but this can almost like bend. You can bend that as compared to these, which are like very taut.
yeah, maybe we can give the baby ones a couple days and water them in. I'm gonna show you guys this one up close, and
I'm pressing reverse really quickly.
I had to press reverse
Control
too.
Z, Control Z.
I had to do
Control
it
Z.
twice. I love to use soil for like most of my succulents with a little bit of bark or perlite or something else to add some air. What do you guys use for your aloes? That's something I'm curious about. We honestly haven't moved out of very many different kinds of potting subsidies.
Substrate?
Substrates.
Subsidies.
We haven't changed our potting substrates. Clearly because I call them subsidies. I only use soil. What do you guys use? I'm curious. It's not always fun to use soil every single time. Something I'm really curious about is leca. Do you know what leca is?
What's leca?
Leca is like these little balls.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They look like the little like water balls.
Yes, indeed.
Have you guys seen like the fried water? Have you seen fried water?
No, I
I have
haven't
to
seen
put a clip of fried water. But it reminds me of like the water before it's fried.
Cool. Honestly, probably makes leca cooler. Adjustment, maybe the baby ones do need some water because they look pretty dry and crisp on the end. And if there is any like root system desiring to be there, then I want to make sure we don't dry it out. We'll just water these in, not too thoroughly, just a nice rain so that they can get connected with that soil, get to know that soil.
My favorite part about watering plants is pretending that I'm the rain. You know, it's like imagining, oh, what would it be like if it was like raining in, you know, this plant's native environment, you know, if this was in a desert.
My mom actually told me recently, because obviously we love houseplants, we're gonna give everyone houseplants for every event that they have. So I've been giving her houseplants for the past year, and she said that what she likes to do after she waters them is to hold them next to her ear and listen as the soil like takes in the water, because she said she feels like the plant is saying thank you for the water. She's nice, lady. So the The first time that me and Emma potted plants together was when we bought a bunch of succulents together. After a couple weeks of having these little 2-inch succulents in our house, we potted them up and it was like super fun. We were really nervous, and every time I took a plant out of its nursery pot, Emma saw the roots. They were very like scared.
They were so creepy looking.
Yeah, they are a little bit creepy looking, and I think you were scared. It's kind of like I'm scared of like picking up like a mouse or picking up a spider, but not because I'm scared of them, because I'm scared of like hurting them. I don't know. Are you afraid of like hurting the root, or are you afraid of the root hurting you? What was it in the moment?
No offense to rats, right off the bat, but it did kind of look like a rat's tail, and there's something about that texture that just, you know, just give me a little chills. I was nervous about like hurting the plant itself, but truly it was more of like the visual of seeing, like, I think it was the Haworthia roots in particular that were like very gnarly, very rat tail-esque, if you will.
Yes. Yes,
Again,
you are correct.
This is not rat slander. Rats are very smart and they are beautiful pets. They are beautiful companions, rather. I support rats. I may even have one in the future if we need to rescue a rat, but I am
I support rats.
This is not rat slander.
But this is also not sponsored by rats.
Not.
I
This one really looks like she's unhinged.
Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna probably have to replant that at some point.
Like, this is root.
Yeah. It goes down pretty low. It looks like it's rotting out. Hi guys.
Hello.
Welcome back. Oops. No, that's not what I'm saying. So, the other night when we were filming this video, we ran out of battery. So we had to wait a couple of days and film an outro for you guys. And it kind of worked out because we can show you guys a little bit of an update on the plants and just like how the repotting did. Honestly, I don't think these plants are gonna do very well. A couple of them do look good though. Like
this one looks okay.
This one
looks okay. This one looks okay.
Yeah.
Falling out of the pot. That was not repotted well. I must have done that one. That's gonna fall out.
Okay,
Oh, look at
so
her
this
dangle.
one is just dangling a little bit by a
Incorrect.
root. I think we might be able to replant this one by taking the bigger part of the plant at the top and dislodging it. I don't know why I told Emma to try that.
Shameful.
These are...
I'm kidding, not shameful.
These are basically turning into crisps. That's not what I wanted, but I'll keep watering. We'll keep seeing. Okay.
Let's show the successful ones.
This one. So this one is getting like these little like really dehydrated parts, and I'm just wondering if you guys know what that is. It's like super thin. I'm just wondering how this guy is doing. So yeah, these are the healthy ones though. I'll just show these last two. We think they're healthy. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.